Good morning, Homeworks delegates. Thank you for taking the time to log on this morning. I'm Chief Relationship Officer Angel McCliggett, and I'm happy to welcome you to our 88th annual meeting of delegates. As you probably heard, our board made the decision to host this meeting virtually this year because the Soaring Eagle Conference Center was not available on our meeting day. But don't worry, you'll still be able to vote, ask questions, and interact with us throughout the meeting via the simple buttons on your screen. The first button is Raise Hand. You'll use this button if you'd like to make a motion or second a motion. Next up is the Chat button. You can type in the chat box if you'd like to make a comment or bring up any matters of business this morning. Third, the Q&A button is to be used if you have a question that you'd like to pose to our CEO. Clicking on this button will bring up a box that allows you to type your question, which we'll pass on to Mr. O'Neill for the Q&A session at the end of today's event. We'll be monitoring your comments and questions throughout the meeting, and we will be sure to follow up with you afterwards if any of your questions are unable to be answered during the live event. When it's time to vote on a motion this morning, your voting options will pop up directly on the screen for you. Just click on the button representing your choice, and as the votes come in, the polling numbers will show up right there on the screen, so everyone can see the results in real time. Now, if you registered for the meeting by August 5th, you should have received a delegate packet in the mail before today's meeting. If you registered after that date, you should have received the materials via email this morning. One of the items in the packet was your annual meeting bingo card. Be sure to have that card handy and listen closely to today's presentation so you can check off items on your bingo as you hear them mentioned. If you get a down, across, or diagonal bingo by the end of the meeting, write your name and service address in the return address slot and drop the card in the mail by August 30th to be entered in our raffle to win 1, 3, or 6 months of free Homeworks Connect internet service at our Essential Experience level. Now, that would be a great prize to win. All right, it's been a busy year at Homeworks, and we have a lot of great information planned to present to you today. So, without further ado, let's begin our business meeting. To officially kick off our annual meeting, here's your board chairman, Luke Pohl, and CEO, Chris O'Neill. Good morning, Chairman Pohl and Mr. O'Neill.
Good morning, Angel, and good morning, Homework delegates. Welcome to your 88th annual meeting of Homeworks Tri-County Electric Cooperative. We're glad you're online with us this morning, and we hope you're ready for an excellent meeting. Let's start with the basics. Chris, do we have a quorum?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we do. We're excited to have 175 delegates here this morning.
That's great. Thank you all for your willingness to serve as Homeworks annual meeting delegates. Your engagement with the co-op we all own is what makes Homeworks the strong co-op it is today.
That's absolutely right. Whether it's your first annual meeting or you come every year, we really appreciate you taking the time to log on today.
You all taking part and making your voice heard is one of the cornerstones of the cooperative difference. That's what sets Homeworks apart from other utilities. When our statewide electric association polls co-op members on member loyalty to their cooperative, Homeworks always comes out near the very top of the state. That's just one of the reasons I am so proud to chair the board of such a unique organization.
That's right. Homeworks members are truly special. Just this summer, we saw a great example of our member loyalty and engagement when a record number of over 1,015 people turned out for our annual park parties across our 7 districts. Our employees, directors, and I really enjoy the opportunity to chat with so many of you and enjoy a fun afternoon at the park with you.
And of course, we all love the free ice cream. Homeworks is the first co-op that we know of in the nation to host district park parties, and I think they really show how much your co-op leadership values your voice as a member owner of Homeworks.
We're really proud of the park parties, but we're also proud of our district meetings, which also saw record attendance again this year with over 1,000 member households logging on to participate.
That is really impressive. I know the co-op has also been getting out in some of our local communities to host events on our HomeWorks Connect fiber internet service.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. We enjoy any chance we can get to come out and answer your questions and hear directly from you on how we can serve you even better.
As your board chair, I'm really proud of how many different events the co-op hosts to engage with our members. After all, you and your neighbors own this co-op, and as Chris mentioned, we are here to serve you. Now, let's talk about why we're here today. Most of you attended the co-op's district meetings in May, where you signed up to volunteer as a delegate to this meeting.
According to our bylaws, each district is required to elect a quantity of delegates equal to or greater than 1% of the district's membership to represent them at this annual meeting of delegates.
Today's meeting is for those delegates to come together to review the annual financial report of the cooperative, vote on any matters of importance, and bring forth to the board any pressing issues that are of relevance to the membership. Of course, we'll also provide you with an update on what's been going on recently at HomeWorks.
We'll start with a short business meeting, followed by our usual operations and financial updates, and then a Q&A session before we close out the agenda with the drawing of our exciting list of Michigan-themed prizes. We've got a lot of information to provide you with several exciting projects to update you on, but the whole meeting should be wrapped up in about an hour or so.
Great. Let's get started. We'll begin by calling Board Vice Chair and District 1 Director John Lord up to give our invocation.
Thank you, Luke and Chris, and thank you all for logging on this morning. Now, let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this opportunity to learn and to communicate with all of the members that are present and our officers. Help us as we guide this organization to another fantastic year. All this we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, John. Now, we can't see you, but I know we have some very special guests logged on today. And those are our members who have served our great nation in the United States Armed Forces. We want to take this time to sincerely thank you for your service.
You are our nation's truest heroes. We are forever grateful for your service, dedication, and loyalty to America and the freedom we all cherish. Thank you. Now, we'll bring Board Secretary and District 7 Director Shirley Sprague up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Chris. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Shirley. Now, I call the 88th annual meeting of the HomeWorks Tri-County Electric Cooperative to order. Director Sprague will now review the purpose of the meeting and present the minutes of our 2024 annual meeting of delegates.
The purpose of our annual meeting is to allow our delegates to consider and vote upon any resolutions, bylaws, amendments, or other actions brought up by the board or members at the district meetings in May. As the Secretary-Treasurer of Tri-County Electric, I submit for approval the minutes of the 2024 annual meeting, along with notice of this meeting and proof of its mailing. These were in the packets that were provided to all delegates prior to today's meeting. I move we waive these readings and accept them as presented.
Is there a second? Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Please vote now on the motion to accept the minutes, notice of meeting, and proof of mailing as presented using the polling buttons on your screen. Motion carried. Next, let's introduce your board of directors and district officers. We'll start with Director Lord.
Hello, I'm John Lord from District 1, which covers Eden, Ingham, and Jackson counties. I live in Leslie, and I'm proud to have represented our district on the board since 2016. Thank you to our district officers and our district chair, Minor Roth, Vice Chair Tim Smith, and Secretary Kelly Freeman. And thank you to all District 1 members who are logged on here today.
Thank you, Director Lord. Next up is Jim Stebbins of District 2. Good morning, Director Stebbins. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you, Chris, and good morning. I'm Jim Stebbins, and I'm from Clarksville. Our district covers Berry and Ionia counties. I've served as our district director since 2017. Our district officers are District Chair Benny Morris, Vice Chair Nathan Smith, and Secretary Chris Caesar. Thank you to all of our District 2 neighbors who are online this morning.
Thanks, Jim. I represent District 3, and I've been on the board since 2014. I live in Westphalia. Thank you to all District 3 members who are with us this morning. I also want to recognize our District Chair, Mary Jo Straub, our District Vice Chair, Claire Kenishnick, and District Secretary, Teresa Thalen. Thank you for volunteering your time to serve the co-op. Moving on to District 4, your director is Jake Borton. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning. I'm Jake Borton from Vesterburg, and you elected me to represent our district as director in 2023. District 4 covers most of Montcalm County. Thank you, District 4 members, for being here today. Our district officers are District Chair Lisa Johnson, Vice Chair Catherine Kellinger, and Secretary Elaine Rossman.
Thank you, Director Borton. Now, here representing District 5 is Director Teresa Sopsey. Welcome, Director Sopsey. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Chris. I have represented District 5 as director since 2022, and I'm very glad to be here with you this morning. Our district covers Gratiot and Saginaw counties, plus parts of Clinton and Montcalm counties. Our district officers are District Chair Bob Pierlewski, Vice Chair Becca Wetzel, and Secretary Dan Harold. Thank you to all of our District 5 delegates for logging on this morning.
Thank you for that introduction of your district, Teresa. In District 6, your director is Dave Livermore. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Luke. I live in Weidman, and I was honored to be elected to serve as your District 6 director last year. Our district is made up of Clare and Isabella counties. Harry Tope is our district chair, Steve Recker is our vice chair, and Rosie Nedry is our secretary. Thank you, District 6 delegates, for logging on today.
Thank you, Director Livermore. Now, last but certainly not least, we have our board secretary and treasurer, Director Sprague, representing District 7. Hello, Director Sprague.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shirley Sprague, and I'm honored to be here representing District 7, which covers Mecosta and Osceola counties. I live in Barrington, and I've represented our district since 2016. Our district officers are District Chair Don Passalp, Vice Chair Elaine Grace, and Secretary Michael Forbes. I know we have many members online today from District 7, and I want to thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, directors, and thanks to all of our district officers for your service to the co-op. Now, our corporate counsel, Dan Templin, is here to report on the results of this year's director elections. Good morning, Dan.
Hello, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, Homeworks delegates. As you may know, our directors are elected for 3-year terms, which means elections typically occur in each district every 3 years on a rotating basis. The district officers in each district make up the nominating committee that selects candidates to run for election, and the members of the district elect their director in a vote held in May. This year, director elections took place in Districts 1, 5, and 7. In District 1, comprised of Eaton, Ingham, and Jackson counties, John Lord of Leslie was reelected in an uncontested election. In District 5, comprised of Gratiot and Saginaw counties and parts of Clinton and Montcalm counties, incumbent director Teresa Sopsey of Bannister received 84% of the vote to be reelected over challenger Karen Leishman of St. John's. And in District 7, comprised of Mecosta and Osceola counties, incumbent director Shirley Sprague of Barrington received 75% of the vote to be reelected over challenger Suzanne Quintella Reiner, also of Barrington. Voting in our director elections this year was held via mail-in ballot and electronic balloting. I will officially certify the elections of Director Lord, Director Sopsey, and Director Sprague at our annual reorganizational board meeting later this month. Next year, director elections will take place in Districts 2 and 4. If you live in one of those districts, please watch your mailbox beginning in January for information on how to run for director or vote in your election. That concludes my election report, Mr. Chairman, and thank all of you.
Thank you, Dan. Congratulations to Directors Lord, Sopsey, and Sprague. And thank you to all who participated in our director elections this year. Our voting numbers have been increasing with the addition of the online voting option, which is excellent because member participation is one of the hallmarks of the electric cooperative business model.
That's right. Every member has a voice and a vote in everything we do. And that's not just lip service here at Homeworks. It's who we are as a co-op, and it's how we operate day in and day out. Can I have a motion now to accept the reports of the business meeting? Is there a second? We have a motion and a second to accept the reports as presented. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote now using the polling buttons on your screen. Motion carried. There weren't any matters brought up at this year's district meetings for further discussion today, and we don't have any other items to vote on at this time. Is there any other business? If there is none, I declare the business meeting adjourned. Thank you. Now, let's move right along to our operational updates. We've got some important information to share with you today, and then we'll have time to answer some of your questions.
That's right. Now, let's start off our co-op update with our financial report. To provide our financial report today, here is our CFO, Samantha Campbell.
Thank you and good morning. I'm happy to be here online with you today to review our annual financial report. Your July-August issue of Country Lines magazine featured a 2024 annual report insert, which also included the financial statements. For your convenience, this annual report was also provided in the delegate packet that you received prior to this meeting. The financial statements of the cooperative are audited each year by Eide Bailly, a certified third-party public accounting firm, and I'm happy to report that they issued an unqualified or clean opinion for 2024, which means our financial condition is presented fairly. Let's take a look. Beginning with the statement of operations on page 5 of your annual report, let's start with the top line, operating revenues. total revenues for 2024 were just over $60 million, up about $3 million from 2023. That increase in revenues was somewhat offset by the fact that our operating expenses, which include cost of power, operating and maintenance expense, was also up just under $3 million this year over what we saw in 2023. Costs continue to rise everywhere due to persistent inflationary pressures, as I know you're all well aware. As you can see on page 5, our cost of power, or what we pay Wolverine Power Cooperative for the energy you use, came in at about $33 million in 2024, while the operation and maintenance expense for us to carefully maintain over 3,400 miles of line and equipment rose over $1 million to a total of just over $17.3 million last year. Year in and year out, we are committed to providing you with the superior service and reliability you've come to expect from your co-op. A major factor in achieving that mission is the proactive investment we continue to make into the maintenance and upgrade of our equipment and the cyclical clearing of the trees along our rights-of-way. The cost of this type of maintenance continue to rise rapidly, but we know this investment is one of the main reasons we are able to consistently provide you with the power that is over 99.95% reliable. Now let's move on to fixed expense, which includes depreciation, interest, and taxes. These combined expenses for 2024 were in line with what we saw in the previous year, coming in at just under $8 million. Overall, our net operating income was just over $2 million in 2024. Also on page 5 of your annual report, you'll see the statement of operations for Homeworks Connect, our fiber optic internet business. This probably sounds all too familiar by now, but unfortunately, the cost of construction and maintenance on the fiber side continue to surge. On a great note, you can see that operating revenues for Homeworks Connect were up quite a bit again in 2024, coming in at over $12.6 million. However, due to the increased cost of running a fiber internet business, we did still have a net loss of a negative $643,000 last year. This is significantly better than 2023, which shows we are absolutely trending in the right direction. Homeworks Connect continues to grow steadily. Between that growth, the fiber rate adjustment we implemented last year, and some strategic areas that we are working to expand the network to, we have taken great strides over the past year towards our goal of breaking even with the fiber business and seeing it begin to support itself. On our current trajectory, we are forecasting that will happen within the next 2 years or less. That's important because once we are able to turn our fiber margins positive, it would eventually be able to help us stabilize our electric rates. Plus, the margins would ultimately be returned to our subscribing members as capital credits, which is a win-win. Speaking of capital credits, I'm sure most of you know that as a not-for-profit co-op owned by our members, our audited margins are allocated to you each year based on your purchases of energy during the year. You may have noticed your allocation noted on your May electric bill this year. These margins become your capital credits, which represents your ownership of Tri-County Electric. During years when the board deems that the financial condition of the co-op allows it, we retire a portion of our capital credits to the membership, typically returning them to you as a credit on your electric bill. After careful review, our board opted to maintain our margins as operating funds last year. But you might remember that we were able to retire $750,000 in capital credits at the end of 2023. Since we started retiring capital credits in the mid-1980s, we have paid nearly $25 million back to our membership. And of course, even in years when we don't retire capital credits, those margins are still yours and they don't go away. They are just allocated to you and held in your name to be returned to you at a later date. This year, the board opted in the spring to delay consideration of a capital credit retirement until the fourth quarter of this year to see if a retirement is financially viable at that point. Watch your Country Lines magazine in your mailbox for more info on that vote later this year. Last but not least, let's take a look at Homeworks Tri-County Propane. You'll see in the Trico Services financial statements and statistics, summarized on page 10 in your annual report, that our subsidiary had a net income of $500,000 last year, up slightly from 2023. As you can imagine, the recent mild winters really affect our propane business sales, just like on the electric side. We added a net of 74 new propane customers from 2023 to 2024, and once again kept our promise of a guaranteed cap price. So 2024 was overall a great year for Tri-County Propane. Thank you to all of you who received that service from us. I'll wrap up by saying that the financial status of the co-op is healthy, but we are carefully looking at necessary avenues to adequately cover our costs so that we can continue to provide you with superior service and reliability. And that concludes my financial report. Thank you for the chance to review our annual report with you today. Now I'll turn it back over to Chairman Pohl and Mr. O'Neill.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. That was a very insightful financial report for our delegates, and we really appreciate the time you put into putting that together.
Member economic participation in the co-op is one of the 7 cooperative principles, and it's very important to us to keep our members transparently informed on our financial situation. You own the co-op, and we always want to keep you apprised of where the business stands.
That financial insight is something I truly appreciate as a co-op member. Speaking of that, why don't you dive right into some of the proposed electric rate adjustments that are potentially on the horizon?
Sure, there is quite a bit to discuss there. First, unfortunately, there are 2 state-mandated surcharge increases coming up that we are being required to enact due to recent legislation. The first is the surcharge for the Michigan Energy Assistance Program, which provides energy assistance to eligible low-income households across the state. Since this program was enacted in 2013, our board of directors has typically voted to opt our co-op into the program in order to allow our members in need to receive energy assistance and to keep our bad debt down. In December of 2024, the Michigan legislature passed 2 public acts that raised the cap on the required MEAP monthly surcharge from $1 to $1.25, with an additional 25-cent annual increase until it hits $2 a month cap in 2028. With these public acts, the legislature also mandated that all Michigan utilities either participate in MEAP or administer their own similar program that would still be required by the state to charge the same monthly surcharge. With no option to avoid the state-mandated increase monthly surcharge, our board voted in March to opt Homeworks into MEAP for the upcoming heating season. In April, the Michigan Public Service Commission ordered that the charge be collected for the upcoming heating season is to be $1.25 a month, up from the 87 cents it was last year. This increased state-mandated surcharge will take effect on our September 2025 billing. It's a small increase, but it's something we still wanted to keep you aware of.
Unfortunately, that surcharge is one of those things that we don't have any control over here at the cooperative. It's coming down from the legislature.
That's true, and it's the same way with the proposed energy waste reduction surcharge increase that will take effect in January. As you might recall, the state requirement for utilities to administer energy waste reduction programs ended a couple years ago.
Here at Homeworks, our board opted to maintain our energy optimization program after that requirement ended and customize it more specifically to the needs of our members. That worked out great for participating members who were able to save over 1 million kilowatt hours and earn over $263,000 in cash rebates in 2024 alone.
That's right. Our self-administered program has been going very well. But now the legislature is bringing back the statewide energy waste reduction requirement with an aggressive new law requiring all utilities to reduce energy waste across their membership by 1.5% annually beginning in 2026. Unfortunately, this new law has made it necessary for us to revise our program design to ensure that we do everything we can to meet those state-mandated requirements. As part of this update, the energy waste reduction surcharge in your bill is likely to double from what it is beginning in January, taking it up to an average of around $2.50 per month. Again, this is a required surcharge that is out of our control. We just wanted to make you aware as our delegates about the pending adjustment due to the state mandated changes in the program.
Thanks, Chris. It's unfortunate that those legislative decisions are going to increase our members' bills in any way, however small. But I know you and your staff spent a lot of time lobbying on our membership's behalf when those bills were being discussed in the legislature.
We sure did. We can't win every time, but we maintain strong relationships with our local, state, and federal legislators on both sides of the aisle, and we will continue to advocate for our rural members' best interest at every turn.
That's part of the cooperative difference for sure.
That's right. Moving on to our electric distribution rates. We talked at this year's district meetings about a potential increase of 2 to 3% to take effect in January of 2026 in order to continue to cover our rising cost and meet our equity targets amidst current inflationary pressures. Unfortunately, our intense financial analysis, including a third-party cost of service study by the Cooperative Finance Corporation, has shown that proposed rate increase to be necessary to cover our costs. Our board will be voting on that adjustment at an open member meeting next month.
Costs are going up everywhere, but it's truly incredible to see just how much the price of electric distribution materials has gone up over the past 5 years, from 25 to 100% in some cases, as you can see on the screen now. We are a cooperative and we all have to share in those increased costs, just as we share in the co-op's profits.
As a co-op, we strive to keep any rate increase as minimal as possible, and thankfully this proposed adjustment is significantly smaller than the increases being implemented at several electric utilities across the state. And on a great note, our analysis shows this proposed adjustment would get us to where we need to be, making it unlikely that we would need to implement another rate increase in the immediate future.
That is good news. I know how hard you and your staff work to keep the co-op's costs and rates as low as possible for our members, and we appreciate it. As a not-for-profit co-op, there's really no incentive for us to charge anything beyond what is cost required to cover the costs of operating the business and maintaining the superior service and reliability.
That's true. We don't have investors looking to turn a profit. It's all about covering our cost of providing safe and reliable service to our members. Because of that commitment to reliability and service, I think our electricity remains a great value to our members, even as costs do continue to rise. Our power was over 99.95% reliable again last year, and we continued to invest in the hardening of our system by clearing trees from hundreds of miles along our rights-of-way. As Sam mentioned earlier, that's the most effective way of preventing electric outages before they occur, since trees hitting the lines are the #1 cause of power outages during storms.
I know I hear from my neighbors all the time how fortunate they feel to have homework service during a storm when their lights are on, when their neighbors with other utilities may be experiencing lengthy outages.
That's true. And our superior reliability really comes down to our relentless commitment to the careful maintenance of our system. And of course, our line workers, dispatch department, and the entire Homeworks team working to keep your lights on every day. They are truly second to none.
I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. Moving on, let's provide an update on the new metering technology your staff is working hard to implement for our membership.
Sure, we're very excited about that project and all the possibilities that it opens up for the co-op and our members. As we discussed at district meetings, we're currently working to replace our aging electric meters with upgraded ones. These upgraded meters will continuously communicate with the co-op, so we'll know instantly if your power is out and be able to assess the problem and begin working to restore power right away.
The meters also give members a lot more detailed information about their usage patterns that can help them save energy and money, right?
They sure do. We've installed over 3,200 upgraded meters across our membership currently, And we're already seeing faster restoration times and other benefits where the meters have been installed. We're working diligently to have all the meters replaced by the end of next year.
As a board, we're excited about this project because it helps to further our commitment to continuing to improve our services to better meet your needs. We've been talking about implementing this project for quite a while now, so it's exciting to get it off the ground for our membership.
That's for sure. Our engineering and IT teams did their due diligence and worked extremely hard in the lead up to this implementation to ensure the safety, reliability, and quality of the technology that we're using. The upgraded meters have passed all of the rigorous safety requirements set forth by the FCC, and we've implemented several aggressive measures to ensure the security of the technology as well.
That's great. And the cool thing is that these upgraded meters are just the beginning of the advancements we're making to our electric grid.
That's right, Mr. Chairman. For more information on all the exciting things we're working on to modernize our grid for the benefit of our members, let's hear from our Manager of Engineering Services, Chris Jensen, in this quick video on the utility of the future.
So the utility of the future is using technology along with our fiber optic network to improve reliability for our members. So grid modernization is using equipment such as SCADA and conservation voltage reduction that'll actually self-heal when there's an outage. So right now, if there's a power outage, we have to send crews out to devices to operate them manually. Now with grid mod, it'll actually be able to self-heal, closing in devices and isolating faults automatically. So part of the engine operations team is to make sure our cooperative is run as efficiently and safely as possible. Everything we try to do is for the safety of our employees and the benefit of our members. This grid modernization is going to be a huge improvement over what we've done in the past for both safety, reliability, and efficiency, which eventually is going to save our members money. The biggest benefits for our members is going to be increased reliability and reduced outage hours. As I mentioned before, when crews have to drive all the way out there just to close a switch in, maybe it's just something simple like a tree branch, that takes time. The grid modernization will actually be able to isolate those faulted sections and turn on the unfaulted sections automatically, restoring power within minutes instead of potentially hours. This is something we've been looking at for a long time, but because of the size of our system, it was very expensive and unreliable to install any type of communication system. Now with our fiber optic system we've deployed that allows us to start using this technology and then have a path to communicate with it. We plan on rolling this technology out in stages, so it won't be all at once. So the cost to the electric bill will be very minimal. And a lot of studies have shown that with this technology, there's quite a few benefits, including savings from fewer outages, less overtime hours, and then improved safety for our crews. So the technology we're installing will be paid for from our normal operations budget, and it will not require a rate increase to cover the investment. Well, we've been preparing this for a long time by rebuilding our existing lines, especially what we call tie lines, which are lines that are fed from 2 different substations. And then we've also been upgrading those substations as well. But our plan to really start using this technology will begin in 2026.
Thank you, Chris Jensen, for that informative video. It's so exciting to hear about all the things we're going to be able to do to make our power even more reliable for our members in the very near future. On that note, can we get a quick update on our power supply?
Of course. As you know, electric grid capacity across the Midwest and the nation has been a real concern over the past few years. And unfortunately, that remains to be true. It's been a very hot summer, and we've had several days over the past couple months when MISO, the grid operator for our region, has issued maximum generation alerts. This means electric demand at the time is extremely close to our peak capacity. Fortunately, we have made it through those warnings so far, and we have not been asked to institute extreme measures like rolling blackouts, but still there remains a real possibility of current capacity across the grid and surging electric demand.
That's a daunting prospect for sure.
It is. The great thing for us is that our power supply, our Wolverine Power Cooperative, is always working toward innovative solutions on our behalf. Of course, one of the major projects that they are currently working on, and that will positively impact our co-op and grid capacity across the region, is the historic relaunch of the Palisades nuclear plant in Covert, Michigan. Palisades is on track to restart later this year, which will make it the first nuclear plant in the United States to return to operation after being shut down. That's a big deal, not just for Michigan, but for the entire country. Wolverine has a strong, long-term purchase power agreement with Palisades. That means when the plant comes back online, its carbon-free electricity will directly benefit our members, helping us to keep rates stable and improving reliability over the long term. Over the past several months, Holtec International, the company leading the restart, has been making steady progress. In June, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission issued its final environmental review, and they found no significant environmental impacts from bringing the plant back online. Then in late July, the NRC gave the green light to transition the plant's license back to active operation. This is another major milestone for the historic project. There's still important work ahead in the coming days and months. Holtec is completing major projects, final inspections, and system checks, and the NRC is reviewing the last of the license amendments. These final projects are expected to be completed soon, and Holtec anticipates restart by the end of this year. This is a historic project for our state, and we're proud to be a part of it. The benefits of Palisades' reliable, carbon-free, cost-competitive power will serve our members and our communities for decades to come.
Thanks for that update. That's very exciting news. Now, let's move on to Tri-County Propane. Have we set our guaranteed cap winter rates for propane yet?
Yes, we have, Mr. Chairman. I think our propane customers here today will be very glad to hear that our not-to-exceed price is the exact same as it was last year, which is $1.99.9 per gallon for autofill service with credit approval. We currently still have our pre-buy price set significantly lower at $1.84.9. So now is the time to get ahead of the heating season and get stocked up on your propane.
That's 3 years in a row now at those same rates. That's incredible in these times.
That is. If you're looking to make the switch to a competitively priced, reliable propane service built specifically for our rural members, you don't need to look any further than Tri-County Propane. We offer rare options like our guaranteed capped winter rates, budget billing, metered service, and so much more. Plus, our commitment to safety, reliability, and excellence in customer service cannot be beat.
If you sign up this month and mention that you attended the annual meeting when you call in, you'll get the annual meeting delegate special, which is a free propane grill just for signing up.
That's right, and we'd love to serve you. Now, let's talk about safety, which is one of my favorite topics as the co-op's former safety specialist. We've got great news on that front. In May, we celebrated 1 full year of no lost time accidents across all of our businesses, which is an incredible feat in the industries we work in.
I speak on behalf of the entire board when I say how proud we are of the Homeworks workforce for making that happen. Safety is our top priority at all times, and I know your staff embraces that commitment day in and day out.
They sure do. In fact, We also received the best results we've ever seen from our Rural Electric Safety Achievement Program evaluation this year, conducted by the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, meeting or exceeding the standard in 176 out of 180 categories. The third-party assessors who came into the cooperative to evaluate us praised our employees and the co-op as a whole for our meticulous commitment to safety in all aspects of the job. They said homework sets a high bar, and they even took several items that they are going to recommend to other co-ops based on the safety measures we have implemented.
That's something to be proud of for sure. And I know you and your staff will continue that careful focus on safety into the future.
We sure will. Safety comes first every single time.
Moving on to our community outreach, the Tri-County Electric People Fund continues to make an impact for families and organizations in need around mid-Michigan, giving out over $20,000 so far this year. Thanks to all of you who volunteered to round up your bill to the nearest dollar to donate to the People Fund.
Rounding up your electric bill only costs an average of $6 extra per year, but it really does add up to make a difference for those in need in our communities.
In addition to the People Fund, we offer a variety of other community outreach programs, including our classroom grant and college scholarship opportunities, which will open up for the applications for this school year in September.
We also had the opportunity again this summer to participate in another popular community outreach program that we love at Homeworks, the Electric Cooperative Youth Tour. We sent 4 exceptional students along with 2 employee chaperones on the 6-day leadership trip to our nation's capital, and they came back raving about the experience.
Our youth tour delegates wanted to thank you for helping to send them to DC. So here's a quick video highlighting their trip.
It's an experience nobody can ever take away from you. It really gives you a different perspective on things.
It was really, really cool. It was awesome. Like, I probably could have, like, you could probably stay in DC for like a month and still have stuff to visit.
The trip's just worth going to see the monuments and all that. It's amazing.
I made a lot of great friends, and I honestly think that was like the coolest thing ever, how they had all of us just like in one room.
It was absolutely amazing. They were wonderful, wonderful kids that just makes our future look so bright. And these kids, they were wonderful.
It was really good because there was like there was a diverse group of kids and they all were different from one another. Like, they had different interests. So it was really nice to like broaden my horizons and, you know, find common interests with everyone when everyone was different from each other.
And I'm really thankful, that I'm really grateful for the opportunity they gave me, and that I really appreciated all the hard work that they put into the planning and doing during the trip.
Thank you for helping.
I would thank them for choosing me as a youth tour delegate and for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. And if you can send somebody on the trip or push somebody to go, do it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a life-changing trip for our kids. They're in a rural area. A lot of them don't get a chance to go out of their rural town, let alone out of Michigan, or even fly on a plane. This was an experience, and it will move on with them for the rest of their lives.
It is so inspiring to hear from those leaders of the future and to see what a difference the youth tour experience has made in their lives. Thanks again to all of our delegates and chaperones. Now, another thing I know many of our delegates are always excited to hear about is the progress of our HomeWorks Connect high-speed fiber internet business.
Of course, we have reached over 13,000 subscribers now, which is quite an achievement. Our subscribers are still loving the fast speeds and superior reliability that we offer, which are rarities in the rural space that we serve. Plus, our valuable add-on services like our MyBundle streaming TV assistance service. We continue to grow rapidly, and between that growth and the fiber rate adjustment that we implemented last year, we are steadily working towards our goal of covering our cost of service, as Sam mentioned, in the financial report earlier.
That's great. I know your entire team is working extremely hard to make that happen. You're also working to implement an exciting new add-on service for subscribers, right?
That's right. We're working on a smart home add-on at no additional cost to subscribers who take our optimized Wi-Fi service. The smart home feature add-on will provide several enhanced services, including highly advanced security features for malware, parental controls, and so much more. It will make our HomeWorks Connect service even more user-friendly for our subscribers, and we're really excited about that.
Great. We'll look forward to that being implemented soon. Okay, delegates, that was a quick look at everything that's been going on at your co-op recently. And as you can see, the team has been busy. As chairman of the board, I speak on behalf of my fellow directors in saying that we're very proud of everything the HomeWorks team has achieved over the past year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope everyone enjoyed hearing those updates. Now we're going to answer some of your questions. If you have a question, please type them in the Q&A box on your screen. We received some questions prior to the meeting during the registration, so we'll answer those now.
All right, thank you so much, Chris and Mr. Chairman. We're going to go ahead and get these questions going. We have some on solar and renewables. The first one is there is a lot of disinformation about wind and solar power, which in turn has made it difficult for these projects to be approved in some areas. Has our co-op considered ways to promote these sustainable energy resources by debunking the common objections being circulated?
Yeah, so we really handle this in a number of different ways as far as being good stewards and taking advantage of the technology. In partnership with Wolverine, who is our all requirements power supplier, we have a portfolio that includes over 20% renewable between wind and solar. In addition, we consistently promote solar programs. We have 4 different offerings, which I think are very diverse. We just recently added one for a large self-supply option, and those are available to members whether they want to make a capital investment at their location or whether they want to take advantage of our community solar arrays, which we have thousands of those still available if you're interested. And additionally, we continually advocate for a diverse portfolio, generation portfolio. Just like an investment portfolio, we use a diverse line of generation in order to mitigate any type of risk concentration. So that's really important to us too.
Thank you. And the next question is, has anything happened at the federal level that would impact the continued development and use of renewable energy sources?
Probably the most impactful thing that's happened over the last couple months on this front is a stipulation within the Big Beautiful Bill, which essentially removes federal subsidies for renewable energy projects at the end of 2027, meaning the investment tax credit, which is typically associated with roughly 30% of the federal subsidy, would be going away at that point in time. So obviously that would affect the economics behind these investments.
Okay, and the next question is, what are the limits on your community solar panels?
To my knowledge, we don't have any, and we have thousands of them left to be subscribed, so I would encourage you, if you're interested in getting involved in solar and don't want to do it at a capital intensive level, this is a great option for a lot of our members.
Okay, and are you concerned with having to increase rates due to a lot of baseload being removed from MISO and replaced with unreliable wind and solar? Can you break down who we purchase our power from and what percentage is from renewable sources?
Sure. I am not in the immediate concerned about our wholesale power costs because of the hedged positions we've taken and the diverse portfolio that we maintain. along with the fact that Palisades is going to be at a fixed price with one escalator for a 30-year term, which really gives us some price certainty. Consider that currently our portfolio maintains greater than 20% of renewable between our wind and solar PPAs that we have across Michigan.
Okay. And our solar panels is a good investment for an average homeowner with room for them. Is there someone specific to speak to at Homeworks with questions regarding adding solar?
Yes, so we have specialists on this. Their names are Nick Simon, who is our energy advisor, Brandon Treeweiler, who is our business development advisor, and also we have a whole department of engineering folks that are happy to talk with you on this issue. As far as a good investment, that really depends on what the individual is trying to achieve. You have to consider that when you're talking about solar, Michigan is the third cloudiest state in the lower 48. So the economics don't necessarily support an investment with a large return. So when I talk to members, we generally see these programs, as far as the investment at members' households, be a 20-year payback. And if you're looking to make a financial investment, there are many other places within the economy to place your dollars that would have a much higher payback than that.
And can you talk about the real cost and value of wind turbines and solar, considering the loss of prime farmland?
This is a really political football, especially with the 2023 energy laws where we need to be carbon free at certain dates. There aren't a ton of options in the state of Michigan. Obviously, Palisades provides us an advantage in that regard, but a lot of the other utilities who are falling short of capacity, and Michigan as a whole, which imports 90% of the time, does need additional generation. The caveat is with these renewable technologies, one, they do use land, but two, we don't really have the storage technology developed adequately to be able to rely on them during peak events. And so what essentially that does is it creates reliability concerns at night and when the wind isn't shining and the wind isn't shining, the sun isn't shining and the wind isn't blowing.
Okay. And then the final question we have on solar, what are our major infrastructure upgrades planned for 2026? Any clean energy, any solar?
Yeah, we have two solar projects that are in the MISO queue. One is coming up, it's called Gemstone. It's about 150 megawatt unit down by Cassopolis. That one is still in the pipe. The economics behind it from the time that we put that in the queue to now have changed dramatically because of inflation. So there's a question of whether it's still going to be viable even when it comes up in the queue. We also have two other projects that Wolverine is looking at up by Gaylord and one up by Hersey, and those are in the MISO queue too. We'll continue to make investments, of course, in transmission and distribution in order to maintain our system with the same levels of reliability and service you folks have come to expect.
Okay, great, thank you. And now we have some questions on reducing energy costs. The first one, are there free programs to help reduce energy costs?
So yeah, our energy waste reduction or energy optimization program is where I would point you in this regard. We have a free home energy audit and we have incentives for energy efficiency. Also, obviously, we have the People Fund for utility assistance should folks have trouble paying their electric bill.
Okay. And then what is the best way for customers or members to cut back power usage during the summertime?
So these are really fundamental and they don't change a whole lot. So thermostat settings obviously play a role here. So does the envelope of the home. So think insulation, windows, doors, ceiling cracks, some of those things. And in addition to that, replacing old appliances that typically as they age and get closer to dying will use more energy over time versus a newer, more energy efficient appliance. Really, those are the three key things that folks need to look at to reduce their energy footprint.
Okay. And then are there going to be future changes to benefit residents with seasonal properties like a reduced availability fee in the off season?
So great question. The availability charge is based on our cost of service, and it's to cover the cost of us making the power available to each location regardless of how much electricity you use. So if we did lower that rate for seasonal members, we would essentially be giving them a discount on the fixed charge, and other residential members would be subsidizing their connection because it is a fixed charge. This is not the co-op way. We all share equitably in both the cost and the margins of the organization.
Thank you. And now we have just some miscellaneous questions, it looks like. What gives you the right to run a power line across a large section of our property to connect another customer without our approval?
So this is the nature of the co-op. The co-op was built among farmers that got together to serve each other electricity. And part of the co-op's bylaws is that if you're a member, you allow the co-op access to your property to run equipment to serve you, but to also serve your neighbors. And that's the basis of how we formed this co-op as a not-for-profit to feed the rural areas that investor-owned not-for-profit utilities didn't find a margin in and wouldn't serve.
Okay. And what gives, will Homeworks bear any cost for the 345 volt line that will run from Gratiot County to Eaton County, the Oneida substation?
Yes, so that MISO project will actually be baked into the RTO fees, so Regional Transmission Organization fees that are distributed evenly by MISO to all that participate in the MISO region. So certainly we will see some costs being sent our way for that project. That's correct.
Okay. And then why can't we go back to $50 for recycling a fridge like DTE? That's what my neighbor gets.
So our program under the voluntary program that we continued are essentially cost-based. And in order to effectively incentivize the various programs that we have, we costed all of them out and determined what type of incentive was appropriate based on the value of that specific program. And that's why we lowered that. That is subject to change, obviously, with the new program starting, so stay tuned on that. But at this point in time, $25 is what we value the reimbursement of that particular appliance recycling program.
Okay. And then why are your tree trimmers leaving logs in our yards after your tree trimming projects? You cut them down, you should take care of them.
So this is a frequent question. Trees are probably one of the most items of friction between the co-op and members. You have to remember that the trees are not the personal property of the co-op. And so we don't take personal property from members' homes. That is not something that we do. It's not something that's legal. So what we essentially do is we take the trees down, we will get rid of all the debris through chipping, and then we leave that wood for the member as personal property to either dispose of as they see fit, sell, etc. I will mention that generally that wood has value and can be relatively easily gotten rid of depending on the way that you want to take care of it.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Chairman, it looks like this question's for you. When will we be redistricting at some districts? As some districts have many more customers than others.
We have started and implemented a committee on looking into this issue, and it consists of board members and legal counsel. This is a board issue. It's not an issue with the employees of Homeworks. So we're working on that, and you probably will see some things that are happening in the future on this. This is going to be it's a difficult issue, and we're really going after it.
Thank you. And then can you update us on the process of the new meters and where installations are taking place? If glitches are continuing to cause issues with the current meters, is there any solution for this at this point? We received communications a while back about a meter outage when none had occurred.
So I gave a little update on the meter program and where it is currently. We're looking to have all the meters exchanged, all the legacy meters exchanged with upgraded ones by the end of next year. All the collectors that collect the data for the new system in the field have been deployed. Those are constructed and ready to go. Now it's just the Herculean task of exchanging, roughly 27,000 meters across 13 counties, and all the windshield time and labor that's associated with that. As far as the legacy meters, there's not necessarily a computer glitch per se. with those meters. It's just legacy technology, and a lot of it isn't manufactured any longer. So we can't get replacement parts in order to maintain it, and it really is end of life and needs to be replaced. So that's really where we're at on that particular project. I want to make sure I got the last question here. As far as the meter outages, this is going to help our new outage text system because the meters, excuse me, are going to be communicating at a much higher rate. We'll know even before you do in some cases when your power is out and be able to more accurately communicate that outage with our members. So all of this really works together, but that deployment feeds into those communications, making them even more accurate.
Okay, great, thank you. And now, how much power will we be getting from the nuclear power plant when it goes back online?
Great question. That nuclear plant is roughly 800 megawatts of baseload energy. We will be getting roughly 400 of that under contract for 30 years.
Okay. And then will the tariffs affect the price of propane?
I think we talked about this, actually, I know we talked about this at least one of the district meetings. The majority, if not all, of the propane in Michigan comes from Canada. So to the extent that there are tariffs placed on Canada and specifically petroleum products such as propane, then yes, you will see and be impacted within our propane rates. That being said, currently propane is excluded from any tariffs as it's covered by the USMCA, which is a treaty between the United States, Mexico, and Canada, where propane is listed as an exempted item.
Okay, great. Now we have a capital credit question. If I'm reading the annual report correctly, more capital credits were accrued last year than were paid out. Is there a cap to how many capital credits the co-op can hold? Also, at this rate of paying out capital credits, it will take about 3 decades to pay out current credits if no more were to accrue. Is there any intent to increase the payout rate?
So our capital credits are paid out based on a couple things. One is the financial condition of the organization at the time that the board considers it. So it's really a year-to-year decision. And because we didn't retire last year because of the light and mild weather and the financial condition of the organization over that last year, yes, we did accrue more or allocate more capital credits because we didn't make the payout. Our rotation is on a 30-year rotation currently. And what we do is whenever we get our generation and transmission capital credits, those get passed through also from Wolverine. Right now, Wolverine is on a hiatus from retiring because they need to build equity in order for rating agencies to rate their debt at a competitive rate. So that's really how this works, is that we are working, it's similar to Wolverine, to build equity to appropriate levels, to get competitive debt, to avoid excessive expense to the membership. But then, yeah, we want to send as many capital credits back as quickly as we can while considering the responsibilities that we have to keep the organization financially healthy.
Great, thank you. Looks like we have just a couple more questions here before we wrap up. Based on all the price increases on O&M expenses, what sort of problem solving are we doing to figure out innovative ways to drive those costs down?
I think the answer here is technology, to be frank. Technology is one of the primary ways that we are going to be able to lower operating expense as it increases over time. So one example of that is our metering deployment. That will help us with the new features, the new communications, to be much more accurate in how we work and how we respond to issues, whether they're power quality, outages, etc. In addition to that, we went through some of the utility of the future items. Those items are also in the same vein of trying to manage that operating expense well into the future. So that paired with our hedges on power supply is really the strategy to try and maintain and defer some of those cost increases that were shown earlier.
Great, thank you. And the final question this morning, is the co-op anticipating any increase in costs due to federal tariffs on equipment the co-op uses?
Yeah, we are seeing some of that come through. I actually also sit on an electric power supply board as part of my role here in Michigan, and they are seeing increases in material because of tariffs, specifically on the raw materials that feed the material that we would use on the distribution side. So we're seeing that in transmission product and in distribution product. So it is having an effect.
Thank you all. If you have any additional questions, feel free to give the co-op a call or send an email anytime. Chris and I both want to thank you for participating in the democracy of your cooperative as a delegate. We appreciate you.
We sure do. Now, I get to introduce the most exciting portion of our meeting, the prize giveaways.
Wow, that was a very informative presentation. Thank you so much, Mr. O'Neill and Mr. Chairman.
It's been a great meeting. Thank you for being here with us this morning. Are you ready to give away some prizes, Angel?
I certainly am.
All right.
I'm excited. Let's start our prize raffle.
All right, we're going to start out with our most exciting grand prize. It is a $1,000 gift card to the Mission Point on Mackinac Island.
That sounds amazing.
Yes, it does. And the winner is Gail Mayer, I believe is how you say that. I apologize if it's not quite right.
Yeah, we'll just say sorry in advance.
Yes.
Okay, and next one we have is very exciting also. 4 passes for a Traverse City wine tour.
Ooh.
And that goes to Renee Klein.
Next up in our Michigan-themed giveaways, we have a set of 2 Michigan-shaped wooden chairs.
They look amazing.
They do, definitely. And the winner of those is Carmen Nash.
Okay, next up is another destination prize, a gift card for the family to visit Greenfield Village Henry Ford Museum. And that goes to Stanley Dinas?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And next up is a Michigan-made product.
We did not know this.
No, we did not. We learned that. Yeah. Yes. We have a KitchenAid stand mixer. Nice. How nice. That winner is Terry Traxler.
I love my KitchenAid.
Yes.
And then we have 2 $100 gas cards. The first one goes to Casey Bayless, and the next one to Rob Bromley.
Next up, we have another destination one for the Kalamazoo Air Zoo. We have tickets for 2 adults and 2 kids, and that winner is Patience Gunn. I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
We'll call you.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, you have to put Meijer in there when it's Michigan.
That's right.
So we have 2 $100 Meijer gift cards. The first one is to Dabin English, and then Larry Bell.
And another destination is the Frederick Meyer Garden.
Nice.
We have a gift card for that, again for 2 adults and 2 kids, and that winner is Katie Garrett.
And then we have some gas cards. We have $50 gas cards, 4 of them, one for Jim Bradley, Carrie Dalrymple, Dee Powell, and David Mestel.
And then another one for Meijer. We have a $50 Meijer gift card. That winner is for Kristen Bush.
Okay. And then we have some very cool Michigan shaped cutting boards. We have 3 of those. The first one for Ava Cooper, Darlene Tibia, and Robert Davidson.
And the last prizes we're going to give away today are for 2 local restaurant gift cards, $50 each, and this will be the winner's choice. The first one is for Chris Mason, and then for Kathy Brubaker. So we will contact any of the prize winners, so just wait. We'll definitely get in touch with you.
Yeah, so if we mispronounced your name, we will call you.
Yes, we will. All right, that was a lot of fun, and that concludes our meeting for this year. If you got a bingo during today's meeting, be sure to send in your card with your name and address by August 30th.
If you have any questions that weren't answered during today's meeting, please feel free to give our office a call anytime. Thank you for logging on today. Have a great
weekend.
Thank you.